kind of had to depend on your bench to kind of get you going tonight.
Yeah, disappointing start for sure, especially with the pressure we put on ourselves to try to play really well tonight. So maybe that backfired a little bit. I think we had 4 turnovers in the first 4-minute game. That's just unacceptable. But then we really calmed down. I think we played the rest of the first half with only 1 turnover. That allowed our offense to open up a little bit. But yeah, take out the first 4 minutes of the game, and I think there's a lot of positives that we can build on going into SEC play after this win.
Give them to us.
Well, I mean, there's some specific things, like as specific as some defensive positioning and rim protection and trying to be the second jumper and not the first jumper. And, when we get into a trap, understanding we have some real objectives, not to foul, not to get split, get our hands up. And so there's just some things that we've really been working on in practice that materialized for us tonight on the offensive end of the floor, trying to play off of 2 feet more, try to be more aggressive to look for early threes. We've got good shooters on this team, regardless of what the 2025 stat sheet says. Those guys put in the time every day. And so I do think the three-point shot could be a real weapon for us in conference play. And I thought tonight we were able to get some threes in transition. So lots of examples, basically the carryover from what we practiced to tonight's performance. So that's a positive.
From game 1 to now, the growth you've seen in the team, what do you feel that gives you going into SEC play?
Yeah, well, we certainly haven't had the growth that we all want. We understand that. But like I told the guys, it's a new season. Say the same things when we're 13-0 in the non-conference. You got to understand that when you get into conference play, it's different. It's a different opportunity. It's a different stage. It's a different platform. The games are different. So, this year we're trying to respond. We're trying to bounce back. We're trying to play better basketball in January than we did in November, December. It's not an ideal spot to be in, but it's reality. It is what it is. And again, I appreciate and respect the guys' approach coming back from Christmas. We just got back to work. We haven't spent a minute or even a second, playing victim around here and looking back, because there's nothing we can do about the past. So now it's about present every day, and a good present can maybe lead to a good future for this team.
So give us a little thoughts on Giffa came in, Pinkett came in, gave you a big spark.
Yeah, I've said it before. We don't really have a rotation right now. It's not an ideal spot to be in as the coach or as a player. But this is our reality. We haven't had a lot of separation in game performance, to allow guys to be 30-minute guys and try to cut this thing down. On the other side of the coin, there is some positive because we're a very competitive group in practice. Nobody has just settled into, I'm not going to play this year. Guys are competing, so still optimistic that our depth could end up being, an ally, a strength of this year's team. But it's a difficult spot to be in. But two solutions. I can just flip coins and say, here's the 8 or 9 guys that are going to play tonight, or I continue to make decisions based on performance. Guys that are getting it done in practice, guys that are getting it done in their daily process. And then in games, we're just evaluating. So just recognize a lot of guys' performances tonight. You mentioned Patton, Keza. Thought Alcorn played good winning basketball. We have some good plus minuses on the stat sheet, which is really important. And so, yeah, we're just, again, not ideal. I've never been in this situation going into conference play, but that's okay. This is the challenge and the opportunity we have. So, guys will earn more playing time, more opportunity based on their game performance. And for us, that starts Saturday, in Norman, Oklahoma.
How are guys responding attitudinally when you're having to jerk them in and out because they're not producing? Are they keeping their heads up?
Yeah, what we tried to do is just keep our truth-telling atmosphere in the locker room, so there's no surprises on game day. I told the team twice today, as clear as I could say, in English, with no music in the background, with nobody on their cell phone, where everybody could understand. We're going to try to play a lot of players tonight. When you get the opportunity in the game, make the most of it. That doesn't mean you got to come out here and score the ball every time you get it. It's just winning basketball, make play after play. And I thought we did that tonight. Probably the most positive thing tonight is we rebounded the ball, and we had some real positive plus to minuses with guys on the floor. So to answer your question, I mean, we talk about it. We make sure that guys aren't confused. You know, you're going to get into this game. You need to play well with the minutes you get.
Obviously, you guys started off on that, giving up that 8-0 run to Alcorn State. And shots weren't falling, whatever was happening. What flipped the switch there?
I think just taking care of the ball. In that 8-0 run, we had 4 turnovers. That's a 40 turnover game. I'm not great at math, but I'm not bad either. You know, 4 times 10 is 40. My high school teammate is here, Endicott, a really good high school player that never had an assist and was always academically on the border. You know, when grades came out every 6 weeks, we always said, hey, is Endo gonna play? He always kind of skied through with academics. So I'm not going to ask Endo what 4 times 10 is, but 4 times 10 is 40. And so during that 4 minutes, the other possessions where we didn't have the turnover, we got 2 good shots, average shots, didn't make them. Puts a lot of pressure on your defense when your offense hands the ball to the other team. You know, it's kind of like in football. You know, like if your offense turns the ball over, you know, is that really on your defense? No. So, but I thought for the rest of the game to be positive here, something I'm working on, which will be my New Year's resolution among many other things, is to try to stay positive, can still tell the truth, can still live in reality, can still coach guys hard, can still keep the standard, but try to find some light here in some dark times. But I do think that we played really well offensively in the first half after the first 4 minutes. You like that positivity, Murph?
Love it, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
Anything else?
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Happy New Year, fellas.